Hello, this is the officially unofficial geek channel. My name is Carrie Quinn. I am here to talk to you about the comics, but before I do that, we're gonna do the intro. So just hold on real quick. Yeah, hold on and we'll be back. No, this is not the intro. Yes, thank you so much. This is the officially unofficial geek channel, Spoilertastic weekly comic review, where I tell you what I think of the comics. And then, yeah, and it's in no particular order until we get to the final three. And those are my favorites for this past week. You, yeah. So we do the spoilertastic review. We let you know right in the beginning that we're going to be doing spoilers. Um, I try to keep everything to a minimum, so that you know, um, in case you haven't read it yet, you can still get in there and read it. And happy camper, everybody's happy, happy, joy, joy. Um, Either way, we put that at the beginning of the program just to make sure that y'all are aware there might be spoilers, but I try to hold back on that as much as I can. Um, so yeah, got a lot of comics to talk about today, but like I said, no particular order. We will let you know. I will let you know. It's just me. I will let you know when I've reached my top three, and then you'll know that those are my favorite comics from this week. Um, Anyways, let's go ahead and let's talk about The Incredible Hulk number 5 from Marvel, covered by Nick Klein. Unfortunately, Nick Klein is not on the interior, but you know, Foreman and Wilson and Johnson still show up and create a compelling book that keeps me coming back every month. Um, it's pretty gosh darn good. This is kind of a horror thriller kind of format to the Incredible Hulk, where when we last saw him, he was dealing with talking to Man Thing and all that jazz, and then the girl was being taken in by the Swamp Witch. Um, so yeah, yeah, okay. Um, so the Hulk and Bruce Banner both get brought into a whole situation where they're basically being told, you know, a lot of stuff is going down. Um, we really would need your help with it. There are beings looking for you, and they're not friendly beings. Um, so we'll have to see how that continues. What I really like is Philip Kennedy Johnson's story here, of, you've heard over the last few years people complaining here and there about the Hulk being soft. And if you are one of these people that thought that the Hulk was being soft, you might want to go ahead and check out this run. It's now 5 issues deep of the Incredible Hulk. Believe me, the Hulk is not going soft in this one. Believe me. The Hulk is what is with the brightness like on my videos being weird. Um, wow. This is because I'm just so bright like a sun, everybody. Um, um, so yeah, it's one of those things where um, if you were disliking the Hulk, supposedly thinking the Hulk was soft, you read this, you're gonna be a little bit happier about the situation. I can tell you that right now. Um, I really am hoping Nick Klein comes back on the interior art. I know that there on the FOC there was a wraparound cover that's coming up for number 6. That's done by Nick Klein, and I'm wondering if he's going to be back on the interior art anytime soon. Because believe me, that interior art by Nick Klein was fire as well. Foreman has their own style, but I don't know what it is. I prefer Nick Klein. Nothing really wrong with the art in this. It's just it's a preference. It's a preference that I'm having right now. Um, so, anyways, next we're going to talk about a new number one. I'm not exactly sure why they're doing a number one, but I guess for the process of this situation, it actually got me to pick up the book. Um, so, new reader to the sensational She-Hulk, to a She-Hulk series. This is the Jen Bartel cover. I love Jen Bartel, and thankfully I was able to nab that cover. Sensational She-Hulk number 1, Rainbow Rowell, Andreas Ginolat, Ginolat or Ginolet? Ginole. I'm trying all different kinds of names. I'm sorry. And D. Kniff. Um, this has your main story, plus a bonus story written by Jessica Gao, showrunner of the the Disney Plus series She-Hulk, which I very much enjoyed. Very much enjoyed She-Hulk. I thought it spoke to me in a way that other programming on Disney Plus had not yet. Um, so that's just me. I know that there was kind of a mixed reception out there for She-Hulk, so the Disney series, and but this is my first She-Hulk comic, so I'm proud to say that I actually did not mind this all that much. I think I might be trying issue number 2. What I love about this is it's just a woman, trying to get through her day, and she just happens to have superhero powers. And she is a lawyer, obviously. If you've watched the She-Hulk series, you know that. Um, and so she's a lawyer and a superhero, and she's a woman just trying to navigate um, being in her 30s, around that marker, and being a somewhat single woman, but also dealing with the fact that her ex-boyfriend has now re-entered the picture. This is basically what you got going on here. Jack of Hearts being the not so ex-boyfriend coming back into the picture, and dealing with that. So overall, interesting, fun little tale, and it's just one of those things that I'm getting it and I'm liking it. So cheers. Mm. Next one we're going to talk about is another Marvel. We got Scarlet Witch number 9 right here. We've got Orlando, Temena, Pacelli, and William on this book. And I think there is one more issue of this before it is done. That's coming out in November. Um, and supposedly there's going to be something coming out in the new year, which is going to be kind of like a new story, a new number 1, because that's how Marvel's been doing it lately. They've been doing these, and this is big too in general. Actually, they've been doing these little miniseries. If they catch on, they're extending runs. Um, in DC, that happened fairly recently with the Poison Ivy run. It was originally supposed to be like 6 or 7 issues, and then it got extended to ongoing because of the popularity. Well, something kind of happening here with this, in that it's going to be ending, but then starting back up again later. Something to that effect. Different writers, different group of people, dealing with it. But here we have the Scarlet Witch hanging out with her not father, Joseph, clone of Magneto, something like that. I mean, I'm talking like I don't like the series. I like the series. Obviously, I've gotten up to Scarlet Witch #9 when I'm not normally a Marvel girl. But basically, she spends this time kind of bonding with Joseph, as she calls him. And he is, she spends all this time. He spends the entire week with her, doing stuff every day with her. And in the end, you find out the Hex Finder um, was kind of using him to get to Wanda. Kind of a bummer. Um, but yeah, so I was disappointed in that. Like, not disappointed in the story, but I was disappointed that that happened in the story. Because sometimes you can appreciate the writing and other things that are happening in the story, the writing, the art, and everything like that. You can appreciate that, but still be kind of bummed out that a story took a turn that it did. Sometimes the thing is um, uh, stuff thrives in this kind of market in suspense, but there is, and I understand that. And there's a part of me, though, that really wishes something, some longer lasting happiness can happen for Wanda Maximoff. Um, by the end of this issue, um, Joseph, whatever you want to call him, Magneto's clone, is cutting off her fingers, which is, like part of the way how she casts spells in the Hex Finder lady showing up, and that's that's our cutoff end of that issue, and it's all gonna get figured out, hopefully, and we get a little bit of an ending in November, or else we'll be waiting until the beginning of the year to figure out everything there. Um, we're gonna start getting into DC at this moment, where we're gonna be talking about Dawn of DC, Catwoman number 58. Howard, Leon, and Gandini. Okay, so this is part of the Gotham War. It's Gotham War Part 5. This is this lovely David Nakayama cover A. I've been really loving the cover A's with the Nakayama covers. Like, yeah, and it's not like a variant cover, it's the cover A. Yeah, it's just been, some of it's been very beautiful. I love the way he draws Selena Kyle. Believe me, I love it. Um, so yeah, you've got picking up from the last issue of Batman. Selena's like, I gotta talk to you, Bruce, and Bruce is like breaking down. Okay, Bruce as Batman is being terrorized, and nobody knows it, right? Nobody in the Bat family knows it. Selena doesn't know it. Nobody knows it except Batman is being terrorized by the personality of Zur-En-Arrh, um, and Zur-En-Arrh is influencing him to do the things that he's doing in the manner that he's doing it. So Selena's like, okay. And so, like, she finds him and he's like crying, right? Like, he's like, help me figure out how to not love people. And she's like, hold up. We're having problems right now, but she, because she loves him at her value, she still loves him. She kind of just sits there and holds on to him for a minute because he really needs it. He's having a rough time, okay? Like, you think the Batman's having a rough time? Batman having a rough time? Yeah. Batman having a rough time right now, okay? So she's like, okay, all right, calm down. And I'm worried about Jason. What happened? So he's telling her what happened with Jason. She's like, we gotta find him. And They go and they find Jason. Jason has, even though he's been administered this drug to make him um, afraid of violence and all that, um, that doesn't change the fact that he wants to be a hero. So when he walks by a burning building, he sees a little kid inside. He jumps in, to the burning building to save the kid, but then gets paralyzed by fear, which is where Batman and Catwoman come and find him. And it's after this that Catwoman lets Batman in on a secret. The secret being that Scandal Marquis was Scandal's. Marquis is not actually Marquis. Marquis is Scandal Savage, Vandal Savage's daughter, y'all. So they've got that issue that they've got to deal with, and they're like, we got to put our shit aside right now and handle that business because that's worse. Um, and you get a little bit more information about what Scandal Savage is doing there. Vandal Savage, more like, is doing there um, in this issue. So don't want to give everything away. If you haven't read it, get in there and read that because there's some stuff going down here that woo, I'm really loving how this has been coming together. These two writing teams working together, producing this cohesive event, y'all. Cohesive. It's actually three writing teams because you have the other Red Hood story where people are kind of talking about this. They're kind of talking about how this will shape Red Hood in the time to come. Because dude is not doing so great because of that the drug that Batman administered to him. How that's gonna change what goes on with Red Hood in the future. And I, for one, am interested to see how that pans out. We got two more, I believe, two more things for this, two more issues. That's the Red Hood #2, and then there's going to be the ending issue. So, we gotta wrap this up. 2 issues. Good luck. That's all I gotta say. If you gotta wrap it up in 2 issues, good luck. Next book that we're gonna talk about is we're gonna talk about Nightwing. Nightwing 107. Looking like he stepped off of a freaking um, romance novel cover. That's something that actually gets said in the book. Come for the sea's immaculate beauty. Stay for Nightwing's pirate booty. So Taylor, Conrad, Byrne, Acuna, Lucas, Placentica, um, Nightwing 107. Cover by Bruno Redondo. Whew. Okay, guys. So here's the deal, yo. There's a box that only Dick Grayson Nightwing can access. He's now put in a position where he wants to access it. It is under the guard of a pirate queen. Guys, it was his girlfriend when he was Rick Grayson. Yeah, so she's pirate queen. And now they have to work together to fix her problem. Her problem is her half brother wants to um, take over the pirate group. And so, in order to get his box, he has to deal with her and help her. That's basically what's going on right now. Every once in a while, we have Heartless come into the picture. Heartless does something and then goes back to the shadows. Is this going to be one of those things that's just always kind of hanging over Nightwing's head? because I'm not sure how I feel about that. The Nightwing title came out all hot and hairy and like boom out of the gate. Everybody talking about the Nightwing book, Nightwing. And yeah, that book was fire in the beginning. It was so good. It was so good. And now it's like, so Nightwing's gonna be a pirate for a bit? Okay. I'm sorry if somebody out there like likes this concept, but like it's just like because really all this is basically like he has to do this, thing where he has to help capture this guy, B's half brother, get him, incarcerated or something like that. And then he gets his box. And how long, and in all reality, how long is going to be this storyline? And is it just going to, like, this chick was a pirate? Mm. I mean, it's not like the issue was bad or anything. It's just like we just every once in a while get Heartless to jump into this situation so that we don't forget about him. And then he goes back into the shadows again. And then we're not going to see him for another few issues. Can we actually have something happen? A fight between Nightwing and Heartless. Can we actually have that escalate a bit? I mean, if Nightwing is, yeah, we need this to escalate a little bit, guys. I'm sorry. We need to escalate a little bit, okay? Because right now it's just kind of like Nightwing's doing a side quest. And by the way, what is exactly happening with the whole Titans thing? The Titans were supposed to be like the premier, you know, group of DC. Is all of that because there was a Titans book that started before the Night Terrors, right? Night Terrors has been over. I'm seeing the Titans World's Finest. Is that what Titans is now? Um, is all of that happening in Titans? I didn't pick it up. I'm not reading it. Is all of the story that was started in Titans happening in World's Finest Titans World's Finest or whatever it is? Because I haven't picked that up and I don't think I've seen another issue come out for Titans yet. Because they had something started there. What's going on? Are the Titans DC's premier group? Or are they not? Does DC have a group right now? A superhero group like the Avengers, like Justice League, like any of that? Do they have one right now? Because they kind of don't. Is it the Titans? Because I don't know. Can you guys tell I'm like frustrated about that? Like, Night Terrors has been over. We've gotten like 2 issues of Green Lantern. We've gotten 1 issue of of Green Arrow. I believe one is coming out next week. Those 2 have restarted. What is happening with Titans? Is everything going on in World's Finest Titans? Or is World's Finest Titans separate from Titans? And when is Titans coming back? Is Titans going to be dealing more with the whole situation involving the Flash? Because, like, guys, the Teen Titans book, back when it began, they had this whole thing. They were trying to figure out what it was going. They were trying to solve what was going to happen that they knew was going to happen to Wally West. So, like, are they going to be handling that? Is that going to be something having to do with the Heartless situation um, in Nightwing, or is this going to be something different and possibly more attached to the whole Amanda Waller situation that we were introduced to a few months ago? Somebody help me out. I would like some help. Next thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about Harley Quinn, Black, White, and Red number 4. This lovely Baccello, Chris Baccello cover. Um, I read, I'm going to be honest with you. This is kind of an anthology series that has usually 3 stories per issue. If you want to be technical, I DNF'd this issue. I got through the first 2 stories, okay, and liked them. The third story started kind of, I started it, but it started kind of annoying me. But it's a lot of fun because you see a lot of different. This whole series has been a lot of fun here and there. You see different writers taking on um, writing Harley Quinn, and I very much like it. Yeah, and I hope they do a trade of this like they did with the first set, and I'll probably pick that up as well, just to have it all combined together. But the last, not all the stories that you read and things like that are going to be things that hit with you, um, and that's okay. First 2 stories hit with me, and the last story did not. I did not finish that one. So, okay, whatever. Let's see here. Okay, we have one more to talk about before we talk about the top 3. And guys, um, I read World's Finest. I read Batman Superman World's Finest by Mark Waid, Dan Mora, and Tamra Bonvillain. Um, I my boyfriend and other people have been, like, why aren't you reading World's Finest? Mark Waid's one of the best writers of superheroes. Where are you going? What are you doing? Why aren't you reading this? For like months now. And so I was like, can I just jump in here? Because I looked at the cover, Return to Kingdom Come. Okay. So I was like, can I just jump in here? And I asked Joe about it because he's been reading this every month. And he was like, yeah, yeah, he's like, okay, so like he told me a couple things about how Superman had a sidekick, and the sidekick went missing in the multiverse. And yeah, then I was ready to go. And I read this, and I gotta tell you, The whole idea of Mark Wade and Mark Wade being the big cheese that he is. Big cheese meaning not like cheesy, but like the big premier superhero writer. It's probably earned. This is a really good book. And, it's too bad I slept on it until now, but I think I'll be continuing this. The storyline, um, there were moments in it that just, captured my attention. And there are moments of it that made me laugh a little bit. Like, they end up going, Barry Allen starts out the issue talking about how he actually saw where this kid had gone. And it's in Earth 22. So Batman and Superman had to go to Earth 22. Well, how did they do that? They used Barry Allen's uh, uh, treadmill. Yeah. So it's really funny. It's just like you're sitting there and you're reading this. Okay, they're going to use the treadmill. And then you see Batman being carried like a little baby by Superman running on the treadmill. I don't know why I found that so. I don't know why I found that so hilarious or humorous, but I totally did. I sat there. I was like, I have to wonder how Batman feels being carried like a little baby by Superman on the treadmill. So they get there and they find the kid. The kid's grown up now, and twist ending. Um, there's a possibility the kid is not happy that they're there. As then the last thing you see is indicative of that. So yeah. But all in all, like I said, I enjoyed reading this. It was not, if you're not reading World's Finest at this point, as long as you have an understanding of what is going on here, like what's happening, it gives you a little bit of an intro in the beginning of the book to give you a little bit more information about who this kid is. As long as you are aware and you're like me, um, wanting to think, thinking, man, I'll just give in and I want to read, but this is issue 20. What do I do? Well, you can go ahead and jump into this one. Yeah. I think you could probably jump into issue 20 and then go, Google stuff that you don't understand later and you'll be all good. Because I was. And I think that, you guys, are all, a smart group of kids here and, you can handle it. I believe in you. I believe in you. Anyways, guys, here we go. We're at the point that you've been waiting for. We're at the top three. I'm going to tell you, there's a couple issues of books that I did not get this week. I'm waiting on copies of Big Game that came out this week, and I'm waiting on a copy of Generation Joker that came out this week. I changed my LCS, and apparently Generation Joker and Big Game are pretty freaking popular at that comic book shop because when I got there on Wednesday evening, they were all gone. They're all gone, and I was still trying to put together a definitive pull list, and that was not recorded as something I needed pulled yet. So both of those were in that situation. So whoops. Um, but the stuff is getting ordered. I will have it. Um, if you really care what I think about the ending issue of Generation Joker in a couple weeks when I get it, let me know. And maybe I'll do a little review, a little quick little short here on the channel. If you really care about it all that much, I will come here for you and I will do that. But yeah, you'll just let me know and I'll do something special. I'll do something special for it. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, my top three books, I'm going to take a look at them, decide how I want to go about this because they're in no particular order. They're the three that I liked the most this week. We've got two indies and a DC book. Um, so, how about I use the indies as bookends for my DC and go with it like this? Let's talk about the Bone Orchard Mythos, Tenement Number 5 by Jeff Lemire, Andrea Sorrentino, and Dave Stewart. I don't know why I said Sorrentino like that. It just felt right. Sorry. Sorry. Anyways, Tenement 5. I'm the worst. Tenement 5, Jeff Lemire, Andrea Sorrentino, and Dave Stewart from Image Comics. This is pretty gosh darn good. And you know what I realized about Jeff Lemire and other things that I've read by Jeff Lemire that are kind of horror based, suspense, thriller type stuff? Um, he has this way about writing something just enough and giving you just enough to keep you wanting to read, to figure out what the hell is going on, because you want to figure out what the hell is going on because you don't know what the hell is going on. Like, at all. All right? Like, at all. You have no freaking clue reading this. There's a possibility you will never understand what's going on here in this book. But he's written it in a way that you still want to read more of it. That's Jeff Lemire for you right there. Right there, that's Jeff Lemire for you. You are so transfixed, even though you have absolutely no freaking clue what's going on, then you keep reading. Even though you have no clue. You have no clue whatsoever what's going on. You have no clue. But yet, you keep reading. You keep reading it because for some reason, even though you have, this is issue 5, you still have absolutely no idea what the fudge is going on here. But he's written in a way that you want to keep reading it. You're going to keep on reading it. You may never understand what's going on here, okay? Like, I read how many issues of Phantom Road? Like, it's not like it was a long tail, but like 5 issues, 5 or 6 issues of Phantom Road, and I I loved it, transfixed by it completely. I have no clue. I have no clue what was happening there, but I loved it. No clue. In this, no clue, but I love it. No clue whatsoever. None. Zip. Zilch. Nada. No clue what's going on, but for some reason, can't get enough of it. Want more. Want more. And the art by Sorrentino, dark, lots of red, lots of darkness, lots of uneasiness in the drawing and what you're seeing. And this dude has got a style, and he uses that style to the utmost of his ability. And I ain't mad at it, okay? Because my glasses just fell. Uh, I'm not mad at it at all Let's try not to break my glasses while I'm talking about Jeff Lemire. Okay, so I'm not mad at it at all because shit. It just looks there's some parts of it that just look downright fucking beautiful. Like, okay, hold on, let me find something right. So like you've got like normal stuff just kind of happening in this dude's apartment because what they did is the last book they went through a door and they ended up in Isaac's apartment. Felix, Felix, Felix's apartment. Isaac is a little kid. So they're all trying to figure out what's going on in Felix's apartment, and you get like pages like this that are just insanity. Where it looks like they're like two beasts. Like there is no Dana, only Zool, like kind of shit here. And this whole like everything is in shadows kind of thing with the regular people just kind of talking. There's like a great interesting use of shadows in his art, and then there's just moments where all this suspense is happening and you're trying to figure out what's going on, and like, oh my god, they make it into the dude's secret office in his apartment, and it's just crazy. Like, look at this, the black and white and red, and it's just like, oh my god, like all of this just. And you've got the birds with the caw, like the vertigo type of situation there. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. Yeah. So yeah. I don't know what to tell you except for the fact that Jeff Lemire has this way, and I'm transfixed and I have no idea what the hell is going on. After 5 issues, I have no freaking clue. None. None whatsoever. Thank you very much. But I'm going to keep reading it. Because even though I don't know what the hell's going on, I want to read it, and I'm transfixed. Okay, so I told you guys that we're going to talk about one more DC book in between both of my, well, they're both image books. So let's talk about Superman #7. I love this. Williamson, Melinikov, Jurgens, Galman, Ramundo, and Sanchez with this Jamal Campbell cover. I love the way Jamal Campbell draws Superman, okay? I love it. Because, like, this is the cover A, right? And I've been getting the cover A of Action Comics, which has been mostly Steve Beach, right? And Steve Beach at times has either made the Man of Steel look constipated or like one of those DC Follies puppets. Made him look like Reagan on like a bad, or like Reagan on a good day, probably. Like young DC Follies Reagan puppet. Okay? But this is fire. I love the way Jamal Campbell draws Superman. Unfortunately, he's not in the interiors today. This is the, like, let's see here, 850 Legacy. Man, the cat is trying to get in here. No, stop. But the Superman issue here, issue 850 Legacy, we are continuing the story that we started before. Now, I want to know from the Peanut Gallery, do you think Lex Luthor is on the up and up? See, I have a theory about this. I think Lex Luthor spent a lot of time trying to defeat Superman, and now he's like, if you can't beat them, join them. But first, we gotta take care of everything that failed to even leave the lab because now all of my vault secrets are coming back to haunt me. And I need Superman's help to deal with that. And that's basically what we've got going on right now with the dude with all the chains. We have the introduction of Lex's daughter, which basically, if I were a betting woman, would say, like how Connor Kent is a basically Superman and Lex Luthor together. We get the idea from certain things that happen in this issue that Lex's daughter is a combination of Lex and Brainiac. Hmm. We haven't seen Brainiac for a while, so that's lovely. We've got Brainiac showing up, and Brainiac is coming to wreak havoc and coming to defeat Superman, and he is using what ends up being a group of 3 Zarenians that we didn't know of before. Now, one has to wonder, how is Lobo gonna feel that, look, there are 3 other Serenians other than his daughter, Crush, that are still existing when he killed all of them. I'm crossing my fingers right now for a Lobo moment here to happen. Um, but we'll see what happens because I want to know what everyone thinks about the whole Lex Luthor situation because I have my theory. And that's kind of like what I was already saying that Lex has reached this point if you can't beat them, join them. But the problem is he's got all of the failures. All of his failures that never made it out of the lab are now coming to the light and he has to deal with them all. And he realizes he can't deal with them on his own. He needs Superman's help. This is what I'm thinking is going on right now. That's my idea of what's going on right now. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. That brings us to the last book that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about Swan Songs, number 4. Swan Songs number 4. Let's see here. That is W. Maxwell Prince and the art done by Caitlin Zarsky. Zarsky? We'll go with Zarsky. That'll work for me. Caitlin Zarsky. Let me see if I can get an artist on this cover. Don't think it is Caitlin Zarsky, but let me check it out, okay? Let's see here. If this is the main cover, then that is Caitlin Zarsky. I cannot tell. Yep, this is the cover A. It has it conveniently on the back and listed. But this is Caitlin Zarsky, cover A. This comic book is about a guy named Bobby, the end of his sentence. And this is a guy coming out of jail for the final time. His name is Bobby. And he likes doing Mad Libs. Okay? And he can make everything what it is, whatever he wants it to be. And what's really cool is he gets out of jail, his brother picks him up, and his brother is expecting him to help him commit a bank robbery. And he ends up being kind of the lookout slash driver. And it starts going awry, and he has to make a choice. Is he going to help, or is he going to not help? And because he's talking about how, like, he felt like it's really funny. He's like talking to his old girlfriend, and he's just like, "Man, I felt more free in jail because this is after this has happened." His brother's like imposing on him to do this illegal thing after he just got out of jail, right? And he's just like, "I feel like everything is decided for me," and his ex-girlfriend was like, shit, that don't even make any sense. You can do what you want to now. And he really wasn't like, he ends up in the van, dressed all up in the costume that they were going to do. That's just very much like everyone says in the book, very much like Point Blank. Um, and Point Break, I mean. Gross Point Blank is John Cusack. We're actually talking about Point Break. Um, but yeah, so very Point Break, and the way it ends, it's kind of cool. It's like you have like the last image. He's sitting there trying to decide is he going how he's going to act. And the bottom of the page is a Mad Lib, where you fill in what you want him to do. Um, that's pretty cool. I really like that. I like that ending. You get to decide how your Bobby would end the story. I'm definitely enjoying Swan Songs. I'm going to keep going with this. I like this book. And it's actually inspired me. I think I'm going to pick up the next Ice Cream Man um, and read that as well. So we'll see. We'll see how I feel after reading some other W. Maxwell Prince stuff. But right now, he's got a hold of me. He's got a hold of me right now. And yeah, I like that the concept of swan songs where it's all, endings, the end of something. So, a lot of fun, really love that. And yeah. So that's it. That's it, guys. Those are the books that I read this week, comic wise. And I want you to tell me in the comments what you thought of my reviews, what you think of the books that I've read, and maybe you have suggestions of stuff that I can read. And I would really appreciate that. I always welcome that. Um, just some other things going on. Check out everything in the description. I recently had a book release. This book right here, Woke Bitch, by myself. It's a book of poetry and short fiction. It has that not for resale because this was a proof, my last proof of the book before I published it. Um, it's a book of poetry and short fiction that I wrote, and my sister actually edited for me. Um, so it's going to show edited by Kelly Quinn in there, so that's pretty cool. But it's available on Amazon, and there's going to be information in the description. So if you like poetry, you like short fiction, pick it up and help a gal out. But anyways, that's about it for me. This is check out, like I said, check out the description. There's gonna be other stuff happening. Check out this past week's What's Happening Wednesday, which ended up going up on Friday, which was Bella Lugosi's birthday, and we're talking about the Raven. This future next What's Happening Wednesday, we're gonna be talking about the revival of Dark Shadows, and that's gonna be fun. And we're going to have a special Halloween episode where we're going to talk about um, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. But anyways, that's about it for now. So until next time, keep your eyes and ears open. If you see something, say something. And remember, the complacent never make a difference. Until next time, this is Carrie Quinn with the officially unofficial Geek Channel Spoilertastic Weekly Comic Review. And I'll be seeing ya. Bye!